here with Grant as always, and our special guest today, Ryan Carson. How you doing, Ryan?
Hey yo, doing well. It's an exciting day in AI day, like every day in AI day.
For real.
No joke. We were just talking this morning. I said I hope when IPOs happen, it doesn't lose its fun,
Yeah,
but it's
who
going
knows?
to. I'm afraid.
There's so much AI stuff happening. It's just so it's what an exciting time to be alive, but also it's like
Yeah,
slightly exhausting.
Yeah.
it is.
Yes. Double.
We
let me
we
let me
both
upvote
feel that.
that because I agree.
Well,
Yeah.
before we dive in here, real quick, I want to make sure everyone who's here knows that we just launched a giveaway in partnership with NVIDIA. So if you go to the link that's about to pop into the chat and sign up for any one GTC session and attend it, you can enter for a chance to win a free DGX Spark provided by NVIDIA that I'm salivating over, to be
I
frank.
want that. What? Can I
Yeah.
just leave and join the audience and win that?
Drop.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Cool.
Oh,
pretty cool.
more to come on that later,
Well,
though. Just wanted to drop that in. Grant, I'll pass over to you.
yeah. So I want to introduce Ryan properly for folks who don't know him. But before we do, I also want to acknowledge the elephant in the room. GPT 5.4 just dropped. We will be talking about it. Hopefully, Ryan. Sounds like Ryan's already got it queued up in his codec. So hopefully we can play with it
Same.
as we go, and maybe we'll talk benchmarks and stuff after we uh, go through what we have scheduled. So it's exciting. All right. So for people who don't know Ryan Carson, he is awesome. Ryan Carson has built and sold three different companies that I know of, maybe more. He's taught 1 million people how to code with his company Treehouse. And most recently, he's actually building another product himself called Untangle. Maybe you're building multiple things. You can tell us everything that you're working on. But the thing that really inspired this live stream was I was watching a really great episode you did with Greg Eisenberg, and you were talking about the fact how you used to teach people how to code with Treehouse, and I just I was so taken aback by that because I was like, how would you teach the next 1 million people how to code today in
Ooh.
2026 when AI can basically do the coding for you? And I asked you this, and you generously decided to come on the show. So I will hand it over to you, and we're going back to school, so everybody get your pencils out. Ryan Carson, how would you teach people how to code in 2026?
Oh boy, that is the question. But thanks for having me on the show, and thanks for
Yeah.
your very generous intro. It's fun to be here, and what a time to be alive.
Right.
When you can think and therefore build. So, so this all started back in high school. So actually earlier than that. So my dad brought home an Apple IIe computer,
Nice.
and I was like, "Cool, what is that?" And started playing with it. And for those of you who remember, there was games like Zork, which were basically text only, and you started to realize, gosh, that you can create these worlds, with code and text and I thought about it. I played these games, but didn't really connect the dots that like maybe I could create these things until I was very lucky to have a high school teacher named Miss Bruce, and she was my calculus teacher.
Nice.
And she was hilarious. Like she would teach us things like concepts where we had to memorize a rap, which would allow us to do like linear algebra and things like that. So I didn't think she
Nice.
was very cool, but she changed my life because she said, "Hey, well, you should take our programming class." And I was like, "I don't know what programming is." And she said, "It's where you tell the computer what to do and it does it." And how right was she?
Yeah, for real. That's like the perfect
Right.
definition. Yeah.
I mean, she predicted this is probably 1993 or something, and
Yeah.
she was right. Here we are. We tell the computer what to do and it does it. So I learned how to code and study computer science. Anyway, fast forward, I ended up becoming a web developer, and I was using primarily PHP, and I sort of realized, gosh, yeah, you can build companies now. So everyone watching probably knows about Basecamp or 37 Signals.
Very
Um,
much.
they're one of the of really the I think the founders of SaaS. They basically said, hey, if you know a problem and you can solve it, you can probably write software and get 1,000 people to pay you $25 a month. for that, to solve that problem, and you have a business. And I was like, yeah, this is absolutely right. So launched my first SaaS business. It was called DropSend. Used it to send large files, and ended up, it was acquired. And I thought, whoa, like, I built this thing, it was acquired, it created wealth for my family. Like, but what if you don't know how to code? And so then that was like, well, wait a minute, you have to know about computer science. Well, who knows about computer science? Like privileged people, people that already have computers. Like, so, so this door is closed. And I thought it shouldn't be closed. I think everybody should have that, should know about this door and be able to walk through it. So that's when I after DropSend was acquired, I switched to education. Let's teach people how to code. And it was primitive at first. We literally started like in person. We would run these workshops, teach people how to code in person. 30 people in a room, and amazingly smart people led those things. Like Kyle Henderson, the creator of Slack. He taught a PHP class for us. So that was a lot of fun and interesting. And then we realized, well, this doesn't really scale and really change the world. I mean, we're just teaching 30 people at a time in a room somewhere.
Yeah.
And so we decided to build an online school, and that became Treehouse. All that's to say, like, learning how to code was pretty straightforward until large language models. You would take a course, you would read about it, you would, look at the code, you would type it, you would try to run it, it would break, and you would just do that over and over again. And now we're in a world where you have this infinite, patient, kind, all-knowing tutor, for either free or $20 a month.
You're right.
Yeah.
And the quality does differ a little bit between those two, so you got to be careful.
A little bit. So
it is shocking what you can get for $20, though.
I know.
I think that's underappreciated.
Well, it even now for free, it's sort of like, gosh, I will say though, like if you're listening to this and you are on a free version of any of these tools, I would highly recommend you cancel Netflix or cancel, whatever thing you've got that's taking up your $20 and pay for, one of these tools, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude, because it really does make a difference. It's like, we live in a world now where it's like you have these tutors running around. You do not want the free tutor. You want the tutor you're going to pay. Like, it's really important. So.
I just want to shout out before we jump into any deeper on this. Someone in the chat, learnai.gg, said, I used Team Treehouse in 2017 to 2018 and landed a job after completing the front-end nano degree. Thanks, Ryan. From making $7.25 at McDonald's to making way more now. Dude, that is awesome.
Yay. That literally gives me goosebumps. That's the whole reason we started that business, right? So good job, learnai.gg. I mean, that's literally the whole point. Like, you can do these things.
Yeah.
And now you really can. Like, I think it kind of, then you have to step back and say, well, what is the difference between people that are agentic themselves? Like, say, I can learn this, I'm going to go ask an agent to help me do it, versus, how do I do these things? And I don't know, what separates those two, but.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Sorry, I was just responding. We were trying to figure out the CC situation because someone asked for it.
It's really amazing to me right now. Like, I am not by any stretch of the imagination a software engineer. Like, I have a philosophy degree and
now you are
years working in journalism, and I build all kinds of stuff. It's really crazy, and I learn. Like, it's not just go do this. It's me with, for me, it's Codex and ChatGPT side by side, where I'll do something over here, and as I'm seeing things I don't understand, I'll throw them over here and be like, explain this to me. Walk me through what I'm seeing. And it's just unreal how much I feel like I can take in. I mean, I'm sure there are definitely things I'm missing, and I regularly recognize like holes in my knowledge. But
that's what we want to
much
talk
easier
about
to fill the
today.
holes than start from scratch,
I'm actually going to share some stuff with everybody really quick. So I'm going to change my screen size a little bit and make it bigger. And then zoom in. Okay, so if you're watching this, I basically pulled up a tool called Codex. And this is free. Like you could basically use Codex for free. You can then pay for a more expensive version. I'm paying for the $200 a month version, but that's because I'm building a company. But you can use this for very, very affordably, or maybe even free. So what you're seeing here is an app, right? And then on the left, you have projects, right? So I've got sort of 3 folders that I'm working on. And you can go in here and open up a folder and then start talking to it, right? So for instance, let's open up a new folder. Let's create something in projects. We'll say, we'll call it, let's call it, how about chess game?
There we go.
Okay. So we'll open that. And now you can see it says chess game over here. Is it large enough or should I go even larger?
You could maybe go one more up. I think would be good. Yeah, this is good.
All right, I'll go one more because you always should go more. Okay.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. So we're in chess game now, and now we can talk to this, right? So and we were talking about this earlier. So GPT 5.4 just dropped today. So we're going to do a little live testing with this new model. Apparently, it's even better at computer use, and it's even better at interface stuff. So let's try it. And there's another little fun thing. I think this will work. I use WhisperFlow to talk to it. So let's try this.
I love WhisperFlow.
It's great.
Big
So,
fan.
all right. So can you please build a 3D chess game and then test that chess game to make sure it works correctly? All right.
And if you don't have WhisperFlow, it looks like you can also type into that microphone there for people who don't have that yet.
Oh, look at that. You should use normal tools instead of fancy tools. Okay. And I've got on extra high. So this is another thing. You select your reasoning effort. I always go extra high because I just want more intelligence.
Same.
I think you kind of end up, you end up spending more time going in circles when you choose a lower reasoning model. So I'm just going to choose, which means it'll take a little bit longer, but
That's okay.
let's see how it goes. And then you can do all sorts of fun stuff. Like while it's doing this, I'll show you a couple other fun tricks. Like there are things called skills, right? So I typed a little $sign and it's got all these skills built in. So for instance, Figma implement design is a tool that actually, or a skill I just started using, which I love. It takes a design in Figma and actually writes the code, which is really great. And then you also have automations, which I'll show while it's going. So automations are a way to run something at a specific time of day over and over again. So you might ask a human to say, hey, go and look through the code base and clean up anything that looks messy or could cause a bug, and then you just have that run on
Every morning or something, or every hour or whatever.
And I have one in here where it actually signs up to my app. It tests the onboarding flow, and then it reports any problems with the onboarding flow. So you can do a lot with that. Okay, so it's got some tasks that it's going to do. It's going to scaffold a React app, which is interesting, using 3JS. It's going to implement 3D chessboard. And it's going to add automated tests. And I think these tasks are new. I feel like I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah, I think so
doing
too.
That before.
They're not in the CLI for sure.
Yeah, I think they may have. This may have been in the post training on 5.4 because it seems like it's automatically creating tasks, which is interesting. So it's just going to kind of crank, and we'll see what it does.
Well, while we're waiting, so there was a couple of things we glanced over. So you just mentioned in those tasks, there's this thing called 3JS. If I'm totally new to coding and it's 2026, do I need to know what that is?
No. Well, yes, but no. So this is the cool world we live in, right? So what I would often do is if there's something going here that I want to understand better, but I don't really want to interrupt this flow, I'll just start a new thread, right? So you'll see in a second. So I'll say, like, what is 3JS? Like, what is that? And so you'll see right now this, whoa, it is fast.
Man, it is, isn't it?
And this is on extra high, so that's kind of interesting. All right, so
Rebus maybe?
Yeah, maybe. So everyone watching, like, what's happening here is you're sort of learning to manage multiple conversations at once. And yes, you can do this on like ChatGPT, but you can do this now when you're coding, and you could go in and actually in multiple projects. So this is my website, ryancarson.com. You know, I may decide, you know, I also want to do, do a quick SEO audit. And I'm just going to kick that off, and, you know, I'm going to leave it. And then we're going to go back here and learn about what Three.js is. And let's find out really quick. What is it? Well, it's a JavaScript library for rendering 3D graphics in browsers. Cool. Without Three.js, raw WebGL is much lower level. Here's an example. You know, I might say like, you know, show me.
I like that.
And I think this is the unlock, right? And I think, Corey, you were saying this. You actually know more now.
Yeah.
So I think we all were afraid, like we were sort of delegating our thinking or our understanding. But the truth is, you end up learning more because you can quickly learn like what Three.js is if you're curious enough to ask.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and I think one of the things that's interesting for me is that, like, the idea of, like, there are people who don't study this stuff in college because they're terrified of the math, or they're terrified of, like, you know, they've heard the stories of, you know, what a lift that's going to be. And for me, in a year, I've learned a lot. And I would say that I have done that in bite-sized nuggets as I needed it. Now, I do regularly
I
go
called this
back and find
just-in-time
problems.
learning the other day.
Yes, just-in-time
Just-in-time.
learning.
Just-in-time learning. Yeah.
So,
Learn it when you need it.
I mean, so what skills or what things have you all like learned that you just wouldn't have learned before? Like, what's an example, Corey, for you?
For me, a week ago, we were in a bind and needed a way to run this giveaway, and an app that would do a few things. And I'm talking with our social media coordinator, and it was, you know, we have an engineering team we have access to, but it's, you know, there's a queue and there's a wait, and that's fine because that's the nature of it. But I was like, you know what? I'll bet I could just pop over into like V0 and do this. And I went to ChatGPT, and I looked at a few different sites I like, got a good list of features that I wanted, and had it help me kind of build a prompt to take over there as a starter plan. And then had it run through the plan, and it develops into phases. And
Nice.
I mean, like, my coding skills prior to a year ago were, you know, a GeoCities page with HTML back in the mid 90s.
Nice.
There was, you know,
Classy.
and I mean, yeah, right. And I could, you know, hop in and change a parameter here and there, change some text, or maybe slap a bold tag or a link somewhere in HTML. But as far as this stuff, no, this
No.
is way out of my wheelhouse.
Well, now you're learning. Grant,
That's
how
right.
about you? What's the, you know, one thing you have learned?
Yeah, well, so for my work outside of what we do at the Neuron, this is basically just for fun. I mostly am doing video game design stuff. So I work
cool.
entirely with a program called Godot, and I've essentially taught myself GD script with using Claude in order to code with it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool, and like I speak GD script even though I don't really speak GD script. You know what I mean?
That is super.
Yeah.
I would love to create a game. Like, I sort of wonder if we're going to end up in this world where there's a lot of free games that people have just made because they're
Yeah.
passionate.
Yeah.
You know, there's a gentleman named Andrew that works at Cursor that created this game called ISO City, which is basically Sim City, but he recreated it in the browser, and it was so fun. And then I basically submitted a PR and got accepted because I wanted a new feature. So I think we're kind of in this world. I see a question from the crowd actually that's interesting. So Scott Parrott says, how does a tool like Replit compare to Codex or Claude? So I would say that you probably want to use a tool like Codex if you are building something that is a company or a project that you really want a lot of control over. And if it's something that, you know, you don't have any experience hosting websites or deploying websites, and you truly are a newbie, then I think something like Replit could actually be really good because they take care of all the complexity of hosting and deploying and stuff like that. I mean, I've got a computer science degree, and I'm doing a bunch of real engineering here, so I'm going to use a tool like Codex. But what's your guys' take on that?
I
I would
agree.
just.
Go ahead,
go
Grant.
first.
You first.
No, you go first. You first. I'll close it.
I liked a tool like a V0 or something like that as a starting place. I think it was really good at that, at kind of walking me through the simple and having like easy error functions that are like, you've got an error, click here to fix that. And recognizing those. I also loved the one button deploy because the truth is, I was able to make something for quite a while before I was able to know what in the world do I do from here. And that was a big deal. Now, a little ways in, I, I, I've used Codex, I've used Claude Code, I've used the Gemini CLI. Honestly, they're all good,
Yep.
but I lean Codex just because I generally like my daily driver is still ChatGPT, and I like the interactivity between them because it's the same account.
Nice. Yeah, I'm kind of the same. What about you, Grant?
I have a controversial take compared to what both of you said,
Uh-oh.
which is you'll get locked in if you use any of those other tools. And you might get locked in with Codex and Claude Code. I mean, a lot of people have what's called like Claude Code psychosis these days where they can't stop coding and they're just like burning themselves out. But I really think you should use one of the more general purpose ones, or there's open code, so that you're not locked in to like any one system. And these ones are pretty general. My preference is Claude Code, but I really like the Codex app. I think this is the best app experience so far.
I think this is. It just started.
Are you on the Windows here, or are you on the Mac one?
On the Mac. So let me, and it just opened in a browser. So let me. I'll start sharing my whole screen so you all can see this.
Cool.
This whole game that just launched. Give me a second because it just took over.
We're also going to see how incredibly good 5.4 is in chess.
Yeah, I love this. This is awesome.
Okay, so whoa. So wait, let me. This
Orbital
is interesting.
chess.
Oh, it's in the portal.
Well, so it took a screen grab.
Cool.
Okay, interesting. All right, so let me stop sharing. So bear with me, everybody.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then to share and.
As a guy with $20 subscriptions to all three of the various tools, I would be lying if I didn't say that when it comes to CLI use, on occasion when I hit a wall, I just open the next one and move over there for a few days until it kicks me too.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Bear with me while I find the right screen.
No worries. Just so people know, we will definitely get to these questions. There's some good questions, but we want to cover some of the basics here first before we get into like Codex versus anti-gravity and cursor and stuff like that. I will say, while I'm stalling for Ryan, although it looks like he's good to go, Codex is kind of like OpenAI's cursor. You can think of it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we? Okay, we got a lot of UI here, but it's
really
interesting.
Pretty.
But a tiny little board. That I can't. Okay, guys, come on. Well, I don't know. Do I need to? Maybe it's because I'm zoomed in or out, or maybe this just wasn't that great.
Well, is this supposed to be like the different windows that you would see on an app?
I don't know.
That could be
like
too.
an iPhone.
Orbital chess, a sculpted WebGL chessboard. Well, neat. I feel like it's overly engineered.
Yeah, it does. It does
play
feel
move.
that way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
It looks like a really good chessboard, despite the fact that it's tiny.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah, I do like how fluid it moves. That's cool.
Wah wah. All right. So, I mean, I think this is actually a good example to sort of point people to. The idea that you sort of spend 3 minutes and you get something amazing and perfect is just not real.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
So it takes time to.
It's still hours, to do
or
it good.
weeks.
Or weeks.
Or months.
Yeah, 4 months. That's fair.
I will say though, you could probably prompt that and say, "Hey, the window's too small." Also, like you could take a screenshot of it and be like, "Why are all these UI elements here? It looks like I'm looking at an iPhone app."
So
like,
let's try it.
Yeah,
That's a good call, Grant.
All right,
let's
go.
I always put them on the spot, and I'm like, "What the hell are you thinking?"
Okay, so let's
By the
go
way,
back.
mad respect for that you also have a very nice sci-fi toy background.
Oh, I'm working on it.
Same. I am always
Yeah.
looking for odds and ends.
All right, it should be the primary UI. So let's kind of see what happens here.
I like that.
I think the other thing that folks, or if you're thinking about learning how to code, you're thinking about learning how to build. Like we talked about, the first step is just pick a tool like Codex, like Replit, like V0. It really doesn't matter, like in the beginning. I think the key is just to pick one. They're basically all free. Eventually, you want to pay, upgrade. But I think then the idea is just think of something fun that you want to create, like a chess game or whatever it is, and build that together with the AI, right? And then once you've done it, then you can start to iterate on it, like we're doing. And then eventually, you might get to the point where you're like, okay, I want this to be a real business or a real website. Okay, how do I do that? And normally people get blocked at that point, but you just have to remember, like every time you say, how do I, you just ask the agent, right?
Yeah.
That turns out to be the hack here, is that all of your questions can be answered by the agent now.
I will say something Codex does really well, for me at least, is I can ask, it can give me like three options. We could do any of these things you want. And I can say, explain to me what number two means. And then it'll do a pretty good job of when we're done with that. If I say, okay, go back and do two, it understands that. Like I don't seem to break its train of thought too well.
Yeah.
We got a really good question in the chat.
Go for it.
Basically, so Stephen B. Bryant, author, says, "Can you also share a bit about your workflow for building something more complex than a toy project? Do you focus on something like UI, UX first, flows, data structures?"
Yeah, good question.
What's your take?
So what I would do is actually, so let's go back into the Ryan Carson repo and start a new thread. What I would do is go into plan mode. So you basically, in Codex, you just do backslash to get to there and type plan, but there's plan mode is in Claude Code and various other things. And what this does is it forces the model into a plan mode where you can chat for a little bit, it asks you questions, and then it creates a plan. I might say, so I want to build a new feature that takes people's questions about entrepreneurship and coding, and then creates some sort of backlog for me to look through to do content based on that. Okay, so you say go. And then probably what will happen here is it will ask me some questions about that. It's interesting. So it's using some skills that I have, which is kind of fascinating. So skills, basically, if you've seen The Matrix, are sort of like when you plug something into your head and he goes, I know Kung Fu. It's sort of the same
Perfect
idea.
analogy.
Yeah, here and I'll actually show everybody watching. So these are all the skills that I've installed. So the one that it just tried to use was this PRD skill. And a PRD is a product requirement doc. And this sort of tells the model how to interview me to create a PRD to then build. Actually, and I don't use this as much these days because the models are better and better at doing this. But you'll notice that it decided to do it by itself. So what happened here is the model was like, oh, Ryan's trying to create a new feature. I have a skill that helps with features. It's called PRD, and it kind of loads the skill a lot like in the Matrix, like plugging into your brain.
Yeah.
And then it's probably going to ask me some questions about that. And then it'll create a plan, and then you'll go from there. So it's funny because I think what you're seeing is like my setup is so customized for me and my work that it's actually not very good for like doing, brand new sort of
That's fair.
non-untangled features. So
Right.
actually, I'll probably, let's see what it's doing. Code type, blah, blah, blah. All right.
One question I would have is like if someone was starting for the first time, what skills should they install?
Good call. So if you go into Codex, they actually have a list down here of recommended skills.
Okay.
So I would go in here and I would look through a couple of these. Some of them are going to be kind of technical, but some of them will be really helpful. Like there is a slides skill which helps you create PowerPoint slides.
Spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet. This is actually brand new. I think they just launched this today,
Mm.
which is really cool. So you can go in there and you can search them as well. And then there's also a website called skills.sh or
Yeah.
skill.sh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's skills. Yeah.
Let me just check really quick. Skill.
Yeah. Skills.sh.
Whichever one it
Skills.
is, I always type the wrong one.
Right. Yeah. Skills.sh.
Yeah.
Where you can go find more skills. But skills are definitely they definitely unlock a lot. So I'd encourage you to try a few. You don't want to install too many, but try a
Right.
few. So to walk back, so basically what you're going to do is go into plan mode, and then you're going to plan a little bit with the model, and then you'll end up with some sort of document that is, okay, we're going to build this thing. And then when you go in and want to create it, so let me switch back to Codex. So if you're in here working on something, then you could tag, for instance, that plan. You can basically do an @ symbol, and then you can start typing, and it will find files, and then you tag that plan file, and then you say, let's start working on it. And then you start working on it together, and then you just kind of grind through that.
Can I ask a question about the tagging?
Yes.
When you tag a plan, does that mean that inside of your folder you could then spin up 3 different versions where you're working on 3 different versions of the game with that same plan?
Sort of. So what I do is, so you'll notice I've got 3 Untangle folders here. So what I do is I have 3 different what are called checkouts. So I actually have the same repo replicated 3 times on my hard drive. And then, in Untangle 1, for instance, I might be on main where I'm doing hot fixes or quick things. And then Untangle 2 will be a new feature branch, and Untangle 3 will be another feature branch. And in Git and branching, I don't know how advanced the audience is.
Yeah.
Well, let's
But-
assume that we're teaching everyone all of this stuff for the first time.
Okay.
But
I think that's
they
probably
need to
the
know
right
it
approach.
clearly, right? Like they need to know it. Yeah,
Okay.
do this.
So
Yeah.
if you're in here and you create a new project, then probably what you'll do is, so all of software engineering uses something called Git, which is basic version control. So it's like if you delete a file, you need to be able to get it back, or say you make an edit and then you want to undo that edit. The software engineering world uses Git, and Codex and Replit and V0 understand these tools. And so they actually kind of come installed. So you can see it says create Git repository. But you can probably say something to the agent just like, I want to do version control. I want to keep track of things and undo things. What do we do? And it would say, oh, yeah, of course we should use Git. And it will start doing that for you. Now, the reason, so the problem is that you may want to launch a new feature. So, for instance, in the Ryan Carson directory, I basically said, I want to create this new feature. You may work on that feature and then realize it was a bad idea, or it wasn't quite right, or it's not going where you want it to, or it's just a bad idea. And so what you do is you create what's called a branch. So you can think of Git as a tree, and main is the main trunk where this is your app. And then you may create a branch off that to say, I want to try to do something. And then if I like it, I'm going to merge it back into the main. And it's hard to keep these things in your mind sometimes about like, what am I doing where? And so that's why I have 3 different folders, which are all the same app, but they are on different features. And then what I do is I work on it, and then eventually get to the point where it's like, I like this. I think it's ready to merge back into main. So then I would do what's called a pull request or a PR in GitHub, and then merge it back in. But everybody should just be thinking, I would start very simply though, and not worry too much about branches and PRs and all this kind of stuff. Just build some things, get used to it, deploy it, and then eventually could try to create a branch and say, I want to create a new feature. I want to do something new. and then experiment with branches, and then you'll learn and get better
Without having to
over
worry
time.
about demolishing the project you've spent so much time on already.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the agents know how to do all these things, so you just have to ask them
Yeah.
how to do it.
One quick question just on your process. When you've decided that you wanted, let's say, like merge Untangle 3 back into the main, do you then delete that project folder and create a new Untangle 3, or you just
No.
leave it?
So what I
Okay.
do is basically it goes back to being on main. And so you end up having 3 project directories that are in various different states. And as soon as they merge, then it goes back to main. But I always try to keep Untangle 1 as hot fixes, leave it on main, and then 2 and 3 are for features and branches.
Nice.
Cool.
And then if as you get more and more advanced, then what you want to do is start to think about how can I automate some of this so that I'm not having to do all this by hand.
Yeah.
And that's where you start to create automations, right? When we talked a little bit about that, but this is where you have things happening automatically, which is how people are scaling,
Yeah.
without hiring. So,
Yeah.
so let's check on our
Do you
game real
have?
quick.
Wait, oh, I have to ask about this. Do you have like automations that are like you're working on a feature and then once it finishes, you work on another feature? What that
I'm
looks like from what I've seen.
I'm trying this.
Okay.
I think we're in a world where truly automated software engineering and actually product building we're just not there yet.
That's fair.
Where it's like I want the AI to think of what features should be next and then build them and ship them and all without me being involved. But I think the models just aren't quite there to do that. I wish they were. But all right, I'm gonna stop sharing and see if I can find this game and see
If we've improved it.
if it's any good.
While you're doing that, I saw someone in the chat, Unfolding Machines, ask, are skills equivalent to MCP or use it behind, or are they the new MCP? I'm curious what your answer is to that, Ryan. I would say that, it's like a smaller version where it's like just exactly what you need to know to do a specific task.
Yes. So I would say skills are somewhat replacing MCPs.
I agree.
So, there's some MCPs that need to be MCPs. Like I would say the Figma MCP is very much it can't be a skill because there's actually API endpoints that it needs to reliably call and know exactly what to do. Now you could sort of turn that into a skill, but I think we're still in a world where a few things should be MCPs. But overall, I would say skills are becoming the new MCPs. They're more portable. They're easy to use. They're just text. They really are pretty amazing. And you can literally check them into Git. So all of my skills are in my home directory, in my .agents folder, and my skills folder. And then I've created a Git repo, and then I just got a new MacBook, for instance, and then I just cloned that repo locally, and all of a sudden magically I had my skills again.
Awesome. That's the benefit of GitHub. So like for people who don't know, GitHub is basically taking the Git tree functionality that Ryan was just talking about and putting it on the cloud, and you can download it and manage it that way.
A thing I think that maybe people don't realize about skills is that, to me, one of the big benefits is if you're working via API and paying by the token, you don't have to have all of this in some monster prompt that's going back and forth constantly, where you can simply call it when you need it, as opposed to sending gajillions of tokens. Because if you're playing with agents or have been on, let's say, OpenClaw, you probably realize that you're burning through amounts of tokens that you didn't realize were possible for one person right now.
Yeah.
And I learned that one weekend when I hit 187 million tokens on a Saturday.
What were you doing? That's amazing.
Setting it up.
Wow.
I was setting it up and I was building out new
Wrong,
automations
clearly.
within it and telling it what I wanted. And at the end of the weekend, I went over to peak. And it's the other thing I will say, though, is like 185 of it was cached.
Wow.
So its caching was really good.
I'm kind of curious about that. Are you all using OpenClaw very much, or what's it like for you all?
I would ask you the same question. Corey is using it.
I used it.
have installed it. I've played around with it, but I am still more manual. I'm not trusting my brain to the machine just yet.
And I kind of, oh, we lost him.
He's good. I think he had to take a call. or
Okay,
something real quick.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I kind of went YOLO with it a little. I'm like, sure, here's the computer, just run it, do the thing, you know. And the truth is, it's been much less bad than I was afraid it would be. Like, I mean, I guess a month into it now, a little more than a month, because it was still Claudebot when I downloaded it, which has created a couple of problems along the ways with the file structure.
Yeah.
But overall, it's been, you know, it's been fairly decent. It's buggy. The truth is, I would not have done it without Codex. Codex is my, like, something's wrong with my OpenClaw again. Please go figure this out. And then I sit back and I watch television while it works for a half an hour, and I come back and then it has me do a thing or two maybe. And but yeah, without Codex, me and OpenClaw would be on the struggle bus. But we have very much.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, now it's a party.
Much better.
It's a little better. And sorry, I momentarily left the call. I clicked the wrong button. I was like,
Oh, it's okay. It happens.
oh, no, I just left. Okay, so
We were like,
I
he'll
told
be
Fred,
back.
I was like, oh, he just took a call or something. He'll be back in a second.
all right, so that's its move. Interesting play move. All right, well, you know,
The thing that I would immediately do is make it so, because you can't click and have it move, right?
you
click and
can't
manually move it.
Oh yeah, apparently. I mean, but the UI is obviously terrible. I can't quite get to my pieces. I'm clicking, so you know, I don't know why I needed a 3D chess game anyway, but
We jokingly, every time a new model drops, we come on and Grant will usually bring up one tool or another. We've done it in Google AI Studio.
Oh,
We've done it in Claude
are
Code.
you-
Cat Doom.
Yeah, do you want to try and make Cat Doom, Ryan, and see how GPT 5.4 does?
We have
Let's
this
do
cat
it.
that is our mascot. So like one of our there's a new model today tests is we try to make Cat
Literally,
Doom.
literally, the prompt is make the game Doom, but with cats. And
Okay,
see what choices it makes. Yeah.
okay. So let me load up Codex.
Awesome.
Okay, I like this. This is gonna be a fun test. Okay, so we are going to. I'm going to archive. This is kind of a nice thing you can say. I want to archive these things.
I like that.
All right, let's do a new project. So let's go into, where's my home folder here? New.
I am so excited about this.
Yeah, me
Just so
too.
you know.
Okay. So it's called, we're going to call it Cat Doom, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, Cat Doom open. Okay, so the prompt is make Doom, but with cats.
Yep.
Yeah, make the game Doom, but with cats.
Can you please make the game Doom, but with cats? Thanks.
I say thanks.
Do you always say thank you?
Yeah, I mean, just be kind, right? Why not?
Right. That's kind of
love
my
it.
approach.
Okay, so interestingly, we actually try a couple things. I think we should stick with 5.4, but just so everybody's watching can see, if you want a really, really fast model, there's this thing called Spark, which is really, really, really fast. It's slightly dumbed down. It's slightly quantized, but we'll stick with 5.4 to see how good it is.
5.3 Codex is a really good model.
It's amazing.
Surprised me.
So I'll let you guys decide. Reasoning level, what should we do?
Oh, extra high.
Extra
All
high.
day. Yeah.
Crank
Okay.
it.
All right, big brain. Let's see what happens.
While this is happening, so I took a couple coding like online courses when I first started getting into this, like a JavaScript course, and I messed around with the Python version, though I never finished that one.
Okay.
And I also took an intro to computer science class at
Fancy.
my local city college. Yeah. And in there, we learned some foundational concepts that I feel like potentially no longer apply in terms of syntax and all of this stuff. Like, what in your mind are the foundational concepts that you need to internalize as if you're trying to engineer?
That is a great question. So what's interesting is, gosh, let me think about that for a second.
Yeah.
I think what's happening is very similar to what happened when we went from assembly to written languages, where you don't need to understand the underlying details, but it helps to understand how software works.
Yeah.
So actually, I just saw an interview with Boris, the creator of Cloud Code,
Yeah.
and he was saying it's always good to understand one level below. And the reason why is because as you pull, levers and as you do things, if you understand a little bit of what's happening underneath, it gives you a little bit more power.
Yeah.
So I would say what's interesting is, you really don't need to concern yourself with a lot of the things that I learned as a computer scientist, or you might have learned in that class. But what you absolutely should learn is how large language models work. So I think because you're using the tool, it actually helps to understand how the tool works. So the first thing you should do. Oh, it's asking us questions. No, it's doing tasks. Okay, good. We should have gone into plan mode. Darn it.
Well, we can try it again if it comes to it.
Yeah. So we'll see how good this is. But so the first thing, and this is homework for everybody watching, is go, pick your favorite agent, ChatGPT or Claude or Codex or whatever one you want, and just say, how does a large language model work? And start talking to it. But what's interesting, you'll end up finding out that the very basic way a neural network works is using matrix multiplication, which last Corey maybe he had an important.
He maybe did the
call
same
to
thing
make.
you did.
So in the end, what these models are doing is predicting what's called a token, right? So if I say peanut butter and, what do you say?
Jelly.
Right. Okay. So what you did is just predicted the next token, right? And the reason why you do that is because you have been trained to do that. And so the question is, well, how do these models get trained to do that? And what they actually do, and this is hard to believe, but what actually happens is you feed in a word into, and this is a simplified version, but you feed a word into a untrained model, and then you would say peanut butter and it would say Billy. Like, no, that's wrong. And then you'd do it again. Okay, peanut butter and it would say Nicaragua, right? It's like, no, not doing it. And you literally do this millions of times until you start to get the right word, and then you go, good job, that was the right word. And then what you do is just like synapses in our brain grow and form. What you do is you sort of freeze that into the model and say, good job. When I said peanut butter and you said jelly, and that was correct.
Yeah.
And it does what's called there are weights and biases in here, and they're just numbers.
Yeah.
So it's just a ton of multiplication, right? So if you understand the way that a large language model works, then it helps you use them better. And so I would say even more important than computer science is how does a large language model work? So learn that, number one.
Okay.
And then number two, I think it does help to understand a little bit about software development. Like, what are the basic good practices around security? This is becoming a thing, right? Where it's hard to, you could easily make bad mistakes, and the models are getting better at this, but there's value in understanding some of those basics.
Yeah.
What are the basics of cybersecurity? Because this is the thing that I'm always the most scared of before I launch anything. And I'm
Well,
like, oh, no.
yeah, I mean, a lot of this is just like good code hygiene, and some of it's very basic, and the models will help you do this. Like, are you storing any environment variables in plain text, like in your repo? Like,
Right.
that's like saying, my email password is, Billie
Yes.
Jean 1983, and then storing that somewhere where everybody can see it. Like,
And you
that's
have
bad.
a debit card attached to that API
Yeah.
key that you're sharing out there.
Yeah.
And so what I would say is, again, the models are your best friends, right? So go in here and say, am I doing anything dumb? Like, look through my code. Tell me if we've made any stupid mistakes. And the models are getting very, very good at catching these things. But the problem is you need to know to ask that.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know, right?
No, and so I think in the end that's a little bit of the problem here.
Yeah.
And again, that's going to get addressed.
Not knowing the right questions to ask is very much a thing. Like,
Yes.
with versioning, for example, is a really good example of like, my general process is just tack another feature on. Just
Yeah.
tack another feature on, and or it was at least. It hasn't been lately, but
Getting there. So just rise and grind. 6910 says, I think we need to get good at TDD and spec-driven development. So TDD is test-driven development. And what's interesting is let's talk a little bit about that. Really, all that means is that you say, like, as a user, I want to, enter a number in, and if that number is greater than 10, then it should throw an error, right?
Yeah.
So that is testable, right? And so when you're building software, what you end up doing is basically creating a bunch of user stories. Like, as a user, I want to do X, and then Y happens. And then it turns out that you can tell the model, like, build that, and then here's your test. Did Y happen? And then that is test-driven development. So you write those tests first, and you say, when something happens, this should happen. That's the test. And now build the software that causes that test to pass.
yeah.
Who actually tests it? Do you test it as the user, or can you get the AI to test it for you?
I do both.
Okay.
So what's really cool, and apparently GPT 5.4 is good at this, is computer use, is that now you're more and more you're able to have the model do what's called end-to-end testing, which is usually in the app, right? So what you'll say is, I would like you to do an end-to-end user test. If it's a web app, it'd be in the browser. If it's a game, it might actually be able to control the game on your desktop. And you say, I want you to do, task, the first task is to log in. The second is to, create this. And then the third task is to do that, and then log out. And then you can create an automation, right?
Yes.
So that is one of my automations. Every day at 9 a.m., Codex signs up for an account and then does the onboarding. And then at the end of it, it sends me a report and then deletes that user.
You can even, can't you even set it up where, like, it can basically, like, kind of red team your site for you?
Yeah. Yeah. You can do all this. So now that we have automations, it's sort of like, holy biscuits. Like,
Yeah.
I have automated people now. Like, all of that stuff that I used to have to ask people to do and remember to do, now I just need to set up automations.
Yeah.
With the problem is, though, you got to remember to, like, now you have to check these automations, and you have to fix them if they break. Like, so all right. So
But
you
we're
would
going to
almost
need a
need to
good
write
system
tests.
of a good log somehow that is really like, that flags things when they're bad or something at some point.
all right. So let's say, all right. So it built it. Well, so, like, install it and start it and play
That's a lot of code.
Okay, I can give everyone a tip here. So when Codex makes stuff, it doesn't make it easy for you to just, like, one click go run it. So you should tell it when you create your initial request to make it a one-click executable that you can run on your computer.
I learned something.
And it will typically do that. And if it doesn't do it, then you just arm wrestle with it until it does, and say, like, no, make it a one-click executable. Assume I know nothing. I just need to click this button and run it.
Okay. I love that. I haven't tried that.
I'd
Okay,
love to
so-
know how
because
you
I was-
like Agent Browser too. I just set it
Well-
up night before last.
it's
Oh
very
yeah,
good.
that's awesome.
Okay, so, oh my God. Okay, let me share this with you 1 second. I'm looking at it in a browser.
You got a
Okay.
pain?
Yeah, basically I wanted to abstract away the horror of, like, actually having to, like, type in my IP address and go to another tab.
That's
Even though it's, like,
genius.
super easy. I was like, I don't want to do any of that. Like, just, like, one click run it. Yeah.
Okay.
Rip
Oh,
through the
I think we may have a
catacombs.
winner, Grant.
Okay.
I don't know.
Brow-
I don't trust this.
A browser-sized
loading
retro
screen.
shooter where a battle cat clears a maze full of chaos felines and using a yarn blaster. Okay.
Oh, interesting. So already the 3D environment doesn't look like
No.
Yeah.
right. Like it looks like
I think it's
Yeah.
frozen. I can't do anything.
okay.
My mouse is gone.
It started off so promising.
What happened? Okay, what is it?
Cat
Okay.
just broke your new Mac.
Okay. Yeah. What? Show your
There's your
cursor.
mouse.
Press escape. Okay, there it is.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Guys. this
Another
is-
trick when you're making a game is to always tell it to include the instructions or, like, the key bindings, like, on the screen, so I can, like,
I really
We
you should
figured
do
that
this
out the
demo.
hard way once, didn't we?
I would. I don't have Codex on my work computer. I can pull up my personal computer if we want.
Oh my god. Yeah. So it didn't work. Sad face.
Oh well.
I bet
That's
you
all
though,
right.
if we tried it again with the plan mode, and
Okay, let's try it.
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay, let's go back.
And we could even do GPT 5.3 Codex because that's supposed to be the coding one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna stop this. Let's go.
Yeah, and
Well,
as I recall, 5.4 isn't a big jump in coding from 5.3. It's a big jump in, like, what I was looking at earlier was like tool use, computer use, reasoning. But I assume it'll be followed by a 5.4 codex in the next 2 weeks anyway.
Probably. I'm just gonna tell it to delete it really quick. I should have just gone and done that in the Finder,
smart.
but okay. I'm treating
Well,
this
we
as a
can-
full repo wipe. Okay. Good job. All right. Let's go. Yeah, we could do 5.3 Codex Spark. Let's let it go really fast
That's a
and
cool idea.
see what
yeah,
happens.
let's see how much I can go
Okay.
through here.
The removal's complete. All right, let's just start a new thread. And we'll go into plan mode, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, Grant.
played with
Grant,
Spark.
you're gonna be the the product owner. Tell me what we're gonna
Okay.
say here.
Okay, so we're trying to make the game trying to make the game Doom, but with cats.
Okay.
The end result is we want a one-click executable that we can click and instantly run it. We want the instructions to be clearly written out on how to play it on the screen. And
Okay.
the 3D environment, well, I don't know how to say this. We probably don't want to put this in the prompt, but we need the 3D environment to actually like work. and load.
Okay. All right. All right. Great. So let's see. So at least respond faster. It's
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's running all those tasks. Maybe, I mean, for people who don't know, what is it doing actually there when it's, we're seeing all these?
so it was a print working directory. So it's sort of saying, where am I? So it's running a bunch of bash commands here. It explored the list of files. It's doing some Git stuff,
Okay.
which I usually don't understand all the Git stuff. I'm like, wow, this is like fancy. That's very cool. Okay, so which one-click target should be primary? Grant, you decide.
EXE.
But I'm on a Mac.
Then Mac app bundle. Do that.
Okay, did that. Okay, how about this?
Ooh.
Full 3D first person Doom style.
Okay,
Yeah, the first one.
persistent HUD. Okay.
Yeah, that'll help us so we won't get confused. How should movement combat input work? Mouse, look, WOD, and click to shoot. Why don't you give it different instructions and say mouse, look, and WSD and spacebar to shoot, or yeah. So then that way, if you click on the screen, it won't mess with you.
Good call.
I mean,
Ooh, so we got a plan, everybody.
okay.
That was fast.
Okay. Whoa, it is long. Okay, so can you skim this and tell me if you're happy with this, Grant?
Okay, implementation.
It's using Godot. Right?
Standardized. It's using scenes. Yeah. Okay. But there's no way it's going to be able to use Godot. That's interesting. Do you have Godot on your computer?
I don't know. We're gonna find.
Why
out.
is it doing it in Godot? That's funny. Okay.
We're going to find out.
Meow.
One-
Hit and shoot. Caught.
Okay, I like it. I don't think this is going to work. But yes, let's do it.
Okay. Here we go. So what is Godot?
Okay, so Godot, for anyone who doesn't know, is an open source like video game engine, and basically anyone can use it and create games with it. And the reason why I like it versus just like vibe coding your own game is that it's like much more structured, the engine, and it works based off of scenes. So basically everything you create in the game is a scene, whether it's the environment or the characters or anything. It's just scenes are the abstraction that it uses to organize everything. And what I do is I use the Godot MCP server, and that basically lets me have the AI literally edit the Godot engine. So
Oh, wow.
it's quite literally editing the game for me. Yeah, so it's very intuitive. It's like I'm coding with Claude, and then Claude is doing the edits on the game, and
If it's
actually
open
implementing
source,
it
it will Codex will absolutely just go download it.
I want,
Maybe
and
that's
so
what it's doing.
so .gd is Godot.
Yeah.
I've never. It's fascinating. Like I've never even seen this.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So should
Well,
we
did
use
it-
an MCP here?
Yeah, if you can.
So
There's
what would I
two of
say?
them.
Like use the Godot MCP if it helps you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you spell Godot? I don't even know.
Godot, like the artist, so Godo. Or have you ever heard of Waiting for Godot?
I have, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Godot.
With a T at the end.
Godot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Godot MCP if it helps you.
If it helps you is the kind of thing I say a lot. If I'm
Yeah.
honest, like, would this be helpful, or is this?
Here's a question: did it use the repo?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it hasn't created a Git repo. Godot files. So implemented. I can't use dedicated Godot MCP in this environment. Fine. Okay.
So I completed it directly in Godot project files.
Okay. Neat. Double click. So there's a zip somewhere. Okay.
Catdoom.app.
I find it hard to believe this will work.
Okay. All right. So let me open this up in my Finder 1 second.
Yeah.
Would be funny if it did. I'm sure it won't.
Oh, that's a good tip. Just Rise and Grind said, I like using follow best practices.
Yeah.
That's good.
I feel like they should be teaching us, not me or us. Okay. All right. So it's in
We
projects.
regularly learn from the people in the chat.
Yeah.
Cat Doom. What is the executable? So scripts build Mac. Is that gonna work? All right.
I don't think so. But
It's asking for the .app.
I'm highly skeptical.
Allow Ghosty to execute. All right. Process exited. This is not. Yeah, I've got to install some extra stuff.
What you could do is you could perhaps send it to the Godot GitHub repo. I'll share it in our private chat one second.
Okay.
It's pretty cool if anyone likes making video games. It's awesome.
All right. So is that in the studio chat?
I'm sending it right now. I had to pull it up.
I'm learning about game development. This is exciting. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Yeah, so I just shared it in the studio chat.
Okay. So should I say, like, are you using this?
Yeah.
No. This implementation is for the Godot engine runtime editor, not the GitHub repo itself. If you want, I can also add a note.
Tell it that you don't have Godot installed. So what are you smoking?
So help me. This is software development, everybody.
That's
Yeah,
right.
This is how it works now. How does this compare to how it used to work? I gotta ask, like, because I feel like the way it used to work is you'd just be on Stack Overflow and Google and stuff forever.
I mean,
right? Like,
so the loop, the loop of every question would be an hour. You know, I mean, because you'd get out an O'Reilly book or you'd go to Stack Overflow. You try and try and try and try and now we just kind of say, I don't get it. Like, what do you mean? Or fix it, right? So install Homebrew. Okay, so should I try this? Do you think it's worth doing, or are we going to end up in a hole somewhere?
it is worth doing. You could also just probably download it just from the website. I mean, if you prefer doing it with Homebrew or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I always love that when it's like you could go install it this way, and I'm like, why don't you do that?
You please do it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Yeah, that's great.
So, I mean, Spark you can kind of feel it, like it's not as smart, right? And so probably if we were on just 5.3 or maybe 5.4, it probably would have thought, like, I don't have that installed. It's like, so you're not going to be able to play it. So I probably should do something about that.
Right.
So this is why I end up just being on extra high using just usually 5.3 versus Spark.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
like this loading part here.
I have been
I know.
the other night. I had a security thing pop up, and in the Codex security message, it showed GPT 5.4 some other parameters there, and I never could confirm what I was using. So I just kind of talked to it like it was a different model for a minute. And one of the things I always love to ask is, "Can you build another AI?"
What did
And
it say?
what you should know is it's now been working for 3 days, and we're at 40 million parameters on our about 20th training run. It's
Corey's
still
an ML
really
engineer
dumb.
now.
It's still really dumb, but it absolutely pops up in a window, and I can communicate back and forth
Really?
with it. And it responds with, when you were talking about peanut butter and jelly earlier, I was like, that's what I'm watching. Because, like, the training prompt in here is once upon a time.
Really?
And it'll be like a little boy named Jimmy ran down the road and and dog ate squirrel and tree and car. Like it doesn't make a lot of sense, but you can watch it slowly get better, and it's doing these little, I say little, 2 or 3 hour training runs.
Didn't you say you're going for like GPT-2 size right now? Is that what you're doing?
That's what I'm told could be done on my GPU.
That's
So
really
we're gonna
cool.
see. And it's like, 5 years ago that was a research lab project, and I just asked a dumb question. Sometimes it's nice to, I've wondered about this. I've heard a couple people mention that sometimes it's really good to come in without all the preconceived notions that a traditional developer would have,
Ryan, let me send you
and
the
not be
Godot
afraid to ask a
MCP as
dumb
well.
question.
That's cool. You're training one. I tried to train a model a long time ago, and gave up. Okay, we're gonna
To
also.
be clear, this is not a thing I know about. My strategy through this whole thing has been, you do what you think is best, and it'll give me 3 options, and I'm like, which one should it be? Now I have a couple times been like, what if we doubled the vocab, or what if we
Yeah.
what
will
if we
happen?
had 50% more layers? What if we?
Why not ask?
And I have, and it's been like, oh, we could do that.
All
It
right.
was like, we need CUDA. Can I install CUDA?
You're
I
like,
was like,
sure.
sure.
Okay. So real quick, I'm gonna actually try this, see if it works. So you can now run. All right. I'm actually just gonna pop this in. Actually, here we've got. Yeah. Okay. Let me share my screen again. Show people what I'm doing.
Yeah, there's two Godot MCP servers that are pretty popular, and then the one I use, I actually forked it and was like making my own changes.
Oh,
to
wow.
it. So, yeah.
Okay, so everybody watching, you can just open up a terminal in Codex if you want, so you don't have to go do that somewhere else.
Cool.
And it's, I think we're already here, so we're actually going to run scripts. All right, let's see what happens.
Sweet.
Something that's good. Done? Is it done?
Yeah.
Done?
Looks like it. It said it
Okay.
exported.
So now,
Where did you save it?
it's probably in the same place, which I'll just open. Okay. Is it scripts? Where is this? Oh my god. Cat
Build.
Doom. Build. Okay, thank you.
Build.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let me share my. What happens? It's got a cute little icon. Let's see. I'm getting the beach ball. Let's see. Where is it? As soon as I see something, I'll show you all.
Yeah.
Nothing. Hello. Where are you? Cat Doom. Cat Doom. I think you're open. Did you crash my? What is going on? Oh no.
We
Okay.
we can still see your screen. Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait. I've got to capture my mouse. Darn it. Yeah. It's got my mouse.
Are you seeing it on your screen?
Yes, I'm trying. Okay, it was capturing my mouse, so I couldn't get back. So let me share my. All right, screen, window. Cat.
Yeah, that's the annoying part about games is that it's like all of a sudden now you're in the game until you close it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, okay. So
It's a black.
room.
It's a black room.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I don't think it's. There's no way it's gonna load.
Okay, people. This is how easy it is to make games. Can you
Yeah, see? Aren't you excited, everyone? Yeah.
Grant, I have new
Oh.
respect for everything you do. This is way harder than web development. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, but okay, what's interesting about this now is that you have something that you can now edit and work with. I mean, you probably want to just start over, but you could now go in and have it edit all of the, like, give it a bunch of notes and say, like, this is a piece of junk, like, you gotta fix this.
This is a piece of junk. Listen, I
Yeah,
appreciate
what you have is a
Codex,
starting point. Yeah.
but this is really bad. And it's still
Yeah.
got my freaking it's captured
It
my
did
mouse.
give health and ammo, interestingly.
Yeah, I mean it's okay. So
Let me give you two, Ryan, let me give you two MCP servers you can try out. I'm gonna give you this one first, which I think lets it actually see the game.
okay.
And then,
All right. So let me tell Codex.
I just realized your DeLorean's lights are on.
Yes. Yeah, so it's a light kit that's aftermarket.
and then here's the one I believe I started using first, and then I made some changes to it.
So should I use the first one or the second one or both?
Try to use both of them.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen again.
Yeah. What I ended up doing actually is I ended up combining the two Godot MCP servers at the time. I basically had Claude combine all of the functions of both of them into one, and I was like, okay, now I can do everything that both of these can do.
Wow.
And then I added my own features to it. Yeah.
So should we switch
Yeah.
back to 5.4 maybe or
Yeah, I think that would work because 5.3 kind of gave us the establishing. Yeah.
Tell you what, I'm looking at a Matt Schumer post on Twitter right now, referring to 5.4 as the best model in the world by far. I quit using Pro.
wow? All right, Matt. Let's see.
We clearly
Can you
started on
save
the
Cat
wrong
Doom?
end of the model.
Yeah, please save Cat Doom. All right,
you
I'm
could
checking
save
both
Cat
repos now. See whether actually, yep, blah blah blah. All right, let's see. Godot, huh? Okay. So tell us a little bit more about game development. Then is Godot what folks are using to do indie games? I know nothing about this.
Yeah, so
Same.
basically, without hijacking this, because I do want to get back to some of the foundational stuff, but basically, this is the open source equivalent of like Unity. So roll back to maybe 2 years ago, Unity changed some things in their licensing agreement for indie developers, and a lot of indie developers were really upset with that, and so they switched to Godot. And actually, it's been around a lot longer than that, but you can think of it as kind of like the open equivalent of Unity. And for people who don't know, Unity is like one of the biggest. There's like Unity and Unreal are like the two biggest game engines that people use to develop games.
Okay.
So
I wasn't
you can
familiar
vibe
with
code.
Unity. I'm familiar with I've heard of Unreal, and I know
Yeah,
what it does a little.
yeah. Unreal Engine, I think, started from Doom, the guys who created Doom. I think,
Cool.
if I'm remembering that correctly. But yeah, so those are kind of like the three big ones. Unreal is like if you're doing like AAA games, you know,
Got it.
really high quality graphics. Unity's everything from AAA to indie stuff.
Okay.
And Godot is like the open source version of Unity, so maybe not quite like you wouldn't use it for a AAA game, I don't think, but
Yeah.
for
So why would you use open source? Is it just because you'd have to pay for Unity?
you don't have to pay for Unity to use it, but if your game is like tremendously successful at certain levels of tier,
It's like
you
a
have
license fee.
to exactly. Yeah,
Got it.
so you have to pay out. Yeah,
Okay, got it.
so.
All right. So
And
let's-
also the benefit is you could, you know, since it's open, you can change the source code and you could add your own features to it if you
cool.
want.
Makes sense. So it says I've confirmed Codex can be configured with extra MCP. Yep. Excuse me. 2 repos are close, but this one is a stronger fit from the docs.
Nice.
So going to choose that one. Node and NPM are already available, so I'm installing these servers locally. I've confirmed from OpenAI's docs that Codex. So this is cool. It's definitely doing a little bit more documentation searching, which is nice without me
Yeah.
asking it to.
A little less
Okay.
winging it.
Yeah. Codex is built. Codex MCP. Great. Okay. Blah blah blah. Repos cloned. I'm building it now. Okay. And so in theory, so once it installs its MCP server, it'll be able to edit. Is it to edit the game engine? Like, Godot itself, or what's it doing that it wouldn't just edit the files in the repo for?
Yeah, so basically it can run the game directly in Godot. It can edit all of the like settings, that you have in the game. It can create 3D assets in the game. It can do a lot of things that are just easier for it to do.
Cool. Got it.
Like texturing and rendering and all of the, or not rendering, but.
And I'm pretty sure the one you installed, it also can like run it and like play it.
Oh, neat.
If I read that correctly. Yeah.
I'm probing whether the live session can see. Do I need to start the game back up in order for it to work with it?
Why don't you ask it that and tell it like, hey, now you have access to this Godot.mcp. The game was not working earlier. It was kind of bad. Can you fix like the 3D environment and make sure that the level is stable and yeah.
There we go.
That's probably enough. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Come on, buddy. I mean, it's amazing how intelligent these things are. Like
It is.
Yeah.
Just to be able to say that, and it probably will do something useful.
And,
So how
all
much
I
of
can
this
ever
stuff?
think is,
Oh,
like,
go ahead.
where will we be a year from now? Where will we be 3 years from now? I mean, we are so different from on January 6th. Grant and I did an episode with our predictions for the year, and so much of what I mean, like we talked about agents and kind of getting from like enablement to implementation, but like I didn't have it on like my 10-day calendar when we had that discussion, and it's just from Claude Code in December through Codex through OpenClaw through this variety of things that have all just they're exploding by the hour some days. It's the craziest thing.
Oh, interesting. So it just started it, but now I'm trying to. It's asking if it can control my computer.
It's scored an 84.7 on computer use. If that's
Yeah,
any
so I'm
consolation.
trying to get back to that and say yes. Okay, I'm gonna say.
We're gonna get you the.
Guys, what are you doing here? I'm getting hacked live.
We're giving AGI the complete control.
We're gonna have it test play the game. Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, this is actually interesting. So what you're not seeing is that I had to go to my system settings and approve Codex to control my computer, and it's gonna quit and reopen it, but that's probably fine. So I'm gonna do that. Quit Codex and let me restart it. So that's probably 5.4 basically being better at computer use, which is cool. So let me share my screen again. I mean, so I think, Corey, you were saying, this is all happening very fast. Grant, what's your opinion about like the state of, because you think a lot about game design and game creation, where do you think that is going to be by the end of 2026?
I like that question.
It depends entirely on the testing loop, the computer use progress, I think, because right now the main barrier that I have is that when I look at or what we just saw, when you and I look at the end product, we know that it doesn't work. Like we can see exactly all of the flaws with it. The difficulty is closing the loop between what we can see with our eyes is very obviously wrong and not working, and what the AI knows and can see. And really that all comes down to, can it play the game? Can it see the game? So vision and computer use.
Amen.
Where it could kind of alpha itself a little bit, even maybe at some point.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, Codex is trying to access my microphone.
I am so fascinated.
Why is it doing that? Codex is requesting a bypass system private window picker. Sure.
Sure. That's
Codex
my
wants
strategy.
to access the control system event. Sure. How bad can it be? Everybody, don't do this.
Yeah. Let's tell the audience what they shouldn't do. Probably everything we're doing right now.
Okay, so now it opened. It still looks terrible. I won't show everyone because it's just the same bad screen. But okay, so the game window didn't show up in the first capture, so I'm checking the actual process date. Let's see if I can try. I agree. I think the feedback loop is not there. The agent really has no clue. about whether this is working at all. And I have a feeling that 5.4 is supposed to get us closer to that. But I think once we really crack the visual feedback cycle and this sort of common sense ability, I think it will really unlock. We're getting there. Like, so I'm sort of kludging and MacGyvering this together at the moment. Like when I submit a PR, it runs this. It's called CI, or continuous integration checks, and one of them is record yourself using this feature and then put that video as an MP4 in the pull request for me to review. But it's so flaky. Like it works like 20% of the time, and some of that may be, user error, like, but I feel like I know what I'm doing.
Right.
So, all right, what is it doing here?
I rarely feel like I know what I'm doing. I very much.
You're just being honest.
I have really just leaned into the, what's the worst that's going to happen? It doesn't have my credit cards. It doesn't have my logins. Really, if I have to reformat this machine, I'm going to be okay. I've got my APIs with a limit.
Yeah.
Let's see
What's
what
the worst
happens.
thing that can happen?
Yeah.
I'm basically the same. I've got OpenClaw open next to me. And,
we never got your take on OpenClaw. Are you using it?
Yeah, I love
Did you
OpenClaw.
miss ours when you dropped?
I did.
That's more interesting.
But yeah, I love OpenClaw. So I'm basically setting up as like my chief of staff, and I've given it its own email address, its own GitHub account, and it's using. We were talking about this. It's using GOG at the moment, but to use Gmail and various kind of Google Workspace stuff. And
new CLI for Google Workspace dropped last night. I popped it in immediately.
Does it work? I haven't tried it yet.
It does.
Cool.
Wow.
Okay,
It does. And OpenClaw seems okay with it.
Okay. So I think there's going to be a lot of power there to this idea of like everyone. It takes tuning, and it's hard to get OpenClaw the way you want it. Like, I spent probably 3-4 hours on it today, like just getting it working. Where it's like I can't use that tool. I'm like, oh, okay, but once it does, it's like, I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to give it a lot of autonomy and say, hey, give me, go and do a bunch of research for, marketing ideas that we can execute this week and come back to me.
When it works right, it's magic, is what I would say.
Yep.
And I think for me, I'm drawn in by the promise of like, oh, this is absolutely the direction. I see all of the things I want to automate here. This is not N8N or Zapier. This is the real deal, is what I think when I see it.
Do you see that OpenClaw, like, kind of two questions. One, it could replace some of this workflow where you're working with Codex directly, like, and you just tell OpenClaw, like, hey, go fix it.
I think so. Yeah. I think it's going to get to the point where it becomes, sort of the operator of the business.
Right.
We're very, very far from that, but some people are having some success. I'm sure you all follow Nat Eliason, who's got I think his is called Felix. And so he's got an OpenClaw that runs its own business and is actually making, I think it's like up to like 10 grand a day now. It's insane.
Wow, that's cool. I heard, when I first heard it, it was like it had already made $40,000. So
I've been in a DM conversation about this very thing today with like a money friend and a data scientist friend.
Y'all, it's working.
Let's see it.
It's better. Okay, check it out. Okay. So.
Okay, we can see a cursor.
Yeah, look. So, see?
Okay.
Now, can I move? I should be able to. But now, I mean, it's logical.
Yeah, this is much better.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but I don't think I can walk, or maybe no. Am I walking?
What I would do is I would tell it.
I wonder if you can shoot that cat. It's giving you crosshairs. I wonder if that orange thing is a cat.
Yeah. So let me read to you. It says the game is substantially better, but the capture still shows the arena darker than it should be. I'm doing. Oh, it just booted again. Wow.
You would also tell it, it'll do that where it's like it'll run a series of tests and then it'll like run the game again to test it and then
Holy crap. Okay, so that's the MCP.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me show you what Codex is saying. It's kind of interesting. I brighten the arena materials directly, which is more reliable. The runtime is now clean.
Okay.
I'm gonna say though, I don't think I'm able to walk.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and there's a cool feature called the proto controller, which is really good for FPS games. I don't know if you're gonna be able to get that. You might actually. Maybe I can send it to you. Hold on, because it's from Brackeys, who's a really good video game.
There's very much a you're in a litter box vibe to it there.
That's hilarious. Maybe that's what
This
he's
is-
going for.
This is fun, y'all. I didn't think we'd actually
The
build a
ground
game
should
together.
be litter. Yeah.
Ryan, tell it to install and use this. It might throw it off, but
Okay.
I just sent it to you. It's called the proto controller. And basically, that is like a really easy to use FPS tool.
Okay, cool.
So
Let me
that
go
might help it
studio
walk.
chat. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
say this might help you. Kind of I'm sure you all do this, but a pro tip is queuing messages. So what I did is I just steered the model, right? So it's like, no, I kind of want to interrupt you a little bit and change your behavior on the fly. What's cool is it doesn't stop the model anymore. It's more like you sort of talking to it while it's working, which is great.
Like without that interruption issue.
Right. So it doesn't go, oh, I'm going to stop because you just talked to me. It's now able to do it. But if you want to queue it, so I might say, something like, I can't figure out what I'm going to say, but say I want to say something, but I didn't want it to do it now. Like
Yeah.
FFFSSSL like that.
Yeah.
then I do command enter and it queues it down here.
Oh, cool.
And then you say, no, I want you to steer, or I just want to delete it. So when I'm doing
Awesome.
front end work, I do this a lot. So one of the tips I have is this tool called agentation. So agentation like that.
Writing that down.
So everyone, if you're doing front end web work, install agentation. It's free. It really only works with React projects, but most of us are doing that. And it puts up a little bar, and you can click on the interface and then write comments and say, no, this should be bigger or should be darker or whatever. And then you click copy, and then when you paste it into your agent, it has all of the details about the exact thing that it actually needs to
That's
adapt
really
and change.
That's awesome.
Okay, so the game came back up. It still looks the same to me, basically. Oh, it's saying Codex would like to control this computer using accessibility features. So I assume that's. This is kind of scary.
YOLO.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna say yes. I think this is the probably the repo that you. Gave me.
Yeah. What I would say, this is actually related to a question. I think someone asked maybe twice in the chat about Docker. Do you do any of this stuff in like a sandbox environment? Like, do you recommend people do that? Like, what's your take on that?
I mean, no.
Okay.
And I think there's sometimes that you should, but I think like Corey is saying, it's like, okay, if this wipes my machine, I don't care. Like it's all in Git, it's all in GitHub. Like it really doesn't matter to me.
All my files are backed up in like OneDrive or something. Too.
Yeah. And so, I'm using, it's an Apple ID, so all my photos are in the cloud. So now what could it do that's from a security perspective? Now that's different, but putting it in a Docker container doesn't change that. Like if your environment variables are, in plain text in the repo, it doesn't, a Docker container is not going to change any of that. So I just, you can see I've got it on full access. Which means it can control basically my whole computer. And I've never had anything go wrong. And I've been doing this for like 3 years. So
that's a whole lot more
awesome.
experience than me, and I find that very encouraging.
Yeah.
okay, so it still looks the same to me. So what is this saying? The first harness was slightly too early. Grant, you're more of a pro on this than I am. What's happening here?
Can you scroll up a bit?
Rerunning the agenda.
It's just running it, and scroll up even more. So to edit the player controller, the test player movement.
Okay.
It might be stuck in a loop here of some kind, but
Yeah, I
it
wonder.
looks like it's just running it and it's trying to think how to fix it.
Okay, so let's say restart the game and try again.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I know I
That's
just
awesome.
heard R2D2.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. That was my phone saying to me that I have a task apparently that I'm supposed to do at some point. So
Nice.
Okay. Good to know.
I found the real
Um,
blocker. The cover obstacles were actually using the full 60/60 floor collision box. Oh no!
Interesting.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds
So
terrible.
basically, if you can't move, it's usually because there's a collision issue. So in video game design, they use collision objects to basically, decide what you can walk into and what you can't.
So we shouldn't
and-
have giant invisible slabs. It's probably a bad thing.
No.
The arena was effectively filled with giant invisible
Oh my
slabs.
god! Oh, whoa! Oh my god! It works.
Does it
Okay,
work?
let me share my screen. It fixed
That's
it.
hilarious.
You don't want giant invisible slabs, everybody. Okay,
Oh.
sweet. Okay, check this out. Oh, I think it just killed it. Let me tell it to restart it.
By the way, someone asked about how can we make money using OpenClaw. We should just include that. I think Nat Eliason. I think he did an interview about this, right?
Everyone's talking about it right now. It's there's a guy on TikTok. I can't remember his name right now, but he's basically patched into weather prediction MCPs and is using those to gamble on weather predictions.
Oh my God.
Gosh, that's crazy.
Okay, so let me
Just
share.
released a couple of videos. Go
Let me
ahead.
share my screen. How big can I make? Oh, I can make this pretty big. Okay. Now I've lost you guys. 1 second. Share. I feel like I've learned. This has been fun. I learned a little bit about game design. Like,
I've learned a lot about coding. It's been fun.
okay, so
Yeah, I have a couple of lightning round questions I want to hit.
Look at this.
Getting close to the 2 hours.
can you guys see
There
this?
you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is awesome.
Wait,
Now we're moving.
what are the balls? Scratch. Oh.
They're probably supposed to be enemies.
Oh, they are enemies. Look, and you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I just killed it.
Yeah, it
So
kind
what
of
you could
feels like this
do-
gray is like a fog or something,
Oh,
and we're
there it is.
missing the.
Look, it's coming for us. No.
So what we could do is we could take screenshots and show it and be like, this is what the enemies look like. Please make them look more like cats.
Okay.
And
so-
Or
we'll
mice.
do that.
Or wait, are we the
Yeah.
cat? Or wait, we should know. Is
Well,
Are
the
we
pitch
the
of the
cat?
game. The pitch of
Or-
the game was that we're a cat and we're fighting scarier cats, basically.
Okay,
It's-
okay.
yeah. That was what it came up with in the doc. I
So
think.
do you think
Yeah.
I need to let me share my screen? I'll share Codex again,
Yeah.
and then I'll tell it window. Okay, I'm gonna put this in here. This is a screenshot. The cats are balls. I
I would
think
say make them look more like cats. Yeah.
I think they should look like cats.
This is what I'm talking about with the vision loop, right? Like,
Right.
it can make objects that are supposed to represent the enemies, but then it needs to be able to see that it did not create like a cat.
Great, the ball.
Here's a picture of what a cat looks like. Make it,
Yeah.
make it this mean cat. Yeah.
Uh,
Or whatever.
Okay, so it's probably and this is the most confounding thing about working these models. Like they're the smartest thing you've ever met, but yet they don't
Right.
know the cat shouldn't be an orange ball.
yeah. Well, I think it's Ryan. I think it's that it doesn't even know that it's a ball.
Right.
Like in its mind, it thinks it's created a cat.
It's created cat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the feedback loop isn't there. Like
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm convinced that this loop will be solved probably by the end of the year.
I think so too.
Just the most basic, like, okay, can I see what I did, and is it good in a reliable, non-flaky way? And it's obviously hard. I mean, these are very smart people at these labs that are trying to solve this, but so it's obviously hard, but it's not unknowable. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm replacing
I
the
have some
orange
lightning
sphere
round
with a
questions for you.
simple low poly cat built from primitive meshes. Okay, cool. I'll let you know how it
There
goes.
you go. Yeah, I've got some lightning round questions for you while this is loading.
Let's do it.
Because I want to get your take as someone who's taught a million people how to code. do we need to know about libraries, or are libraries something that are going to go away?
I don't think you do. And frameworks.
Yeah.
It all kind of abstracts away to be whatever the model wants to use and is easy for it to use. I think what we're moving towards is like the models, the agents picking everything. And so I think we're going to move into a world of like, okay, yeah, how if say that I built a library or a service, how do I actually make it easy for the agents to pick it?
Yeah.
And actually, like I literally just shipped a CLI for Untangle today, so that OpenClaw can use it when it's going out and doing marketing. So there's a brand new way of thinking about things now. And I think everybody should think agent first. Like, how are agents gonna pick my thing?
I say that
What
about
about-
web content too. Like, can an agent read this? Or we built
Yeah.
we designed stuff for humans and have for years, as far as all the nifty features and things. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Greg. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just what Ryan said inspired me, which is like, yeah, the workspace. We just talked about it. They launched a CLI. Why are companies now launching CLIs instead of just MCP servers? Why do we need a CLI to access this stuff?
While I answer, I will show you the amazing new cats that were created.
Oh boy.
Okay. Ta-da!
Oh wow, those are good.
We have
I
cats.
mean, not good, but they're good.
Look, it's kind of scary. It's got like
Yeah.
God, die. Okay. Oh no! I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty decent. Like,
you
for
know-
a demo.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I guess the interesting thing about that is like that's with one feedback loop,
Yeah.
right? This idea of that was us just saying the cat sucks, make the cat better, right?
Yeah.
And so, gosh, imagine when the thing really can understand its work. It's going to be exciting.
yeah.
So, okay, so why CLIs? So it turns out that, and maybe this will change, but the way the models are trained is they are very good at bash commands. They just want to do it. Like they really, really get Linux. And so I think it's like just swim with the current. And Boris was sort of saying this in this interview I was listening to today. He's like, just the models really, really want to use tools. And so, and basically tools are sort of bash commands built up, right? And so the models know how to run commands, in the terminal. So I think instead of an MCP, which is like, okay, these are some things you can do, and here's the API endpoint. It's like, just type this thing, right? And so it seems like it works.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why. And plus, if you've already built API endpoints, like building a CLI is trivial. Like your agent can do it in 10 seconds. So I think that's kind of where we're going.
Do you think, well, a thing I'd like to ask off of that is that for normal people, the CLI is intimidating. It's a thing where they're not sure what to do. They're afraid they're going to kill their computer or cause some kind of damage. Do you think we're getting really close to a point where the agent just goes and finds the CLI it needs and installs it on its own, and the user doesn't even need to know that's happening, much in the way Bash is operating?
Yeah. This is all going to be invisible. In fact, a lot of it is. I mean, as we were watching Codex, we were having to click in and see, like, what are you actually doing? Like,
Yeah.
and
And it's doing a lot of things.
a lot. So yeah, I think in the end, and this actually leads to a point of view of like, pretty soon we probably will see agent first languages. Like, why are they, I mean, TypeScript is amazing. And like, I think a lot of us are using TypeScript now because it's strongly typed and it's pretty ubiquitous. But TypeScript wasn't written for agents. And so it'd be kind of fascinating to see if I think that makes sense. Like, just like none of us, read binary. Like,
No.
So.
But
Did you
is
see
that
this?
extra layer of a language even necessary?
No, I mean, it'll probably be something close to like machine code, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not true. It'll be close to English.
Okay.
Remember, the models are trained on
Yeah, that's right,
language.
that's right.
Right, not bytecode
So it's
or
not it
machine.
wouldn't be as efficient for them to just speak in binary or assembly.
No, because they're not trained on it. I mean, the thing they can do it, but I predict it's probably going to be some natural language, maybe, or it might be they just don't care and they can just do TypeScript so fast that it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What about you mentioned typed object oriented. There's a concept we talked to one of our friends who's a software engineer who we work with, and he said you shouldn't use AI to write anything that you couldn't write yourself. Do you agree with that? Like, do we
No.
need to...
What? I mean, that's like saying you can't drive an F1 car unless you understand how to, melt down rubber trees and form them into tires. What? No. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you
Right.
have to rise up the abstraction tree. Otherwise, you will never build anything. So now, I do think it's worth understanding the one level below, like Boris said. Yeah, actually learn a little bit about the model, like weights, matrix multiplication, like understand tokens, like definitely do that. But no, I think there's honestly, like I'm old, I'm 48, like I don't have a beard, but I could.
Yeah.
I could be the old guy who, likes his tools and says, no one will be able to build anything beautiful unless they can craft it by hand, but it's just not true.
I'm
Like-
mad pleased to hear you're 48. That blows me away.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
45. I'm like, all right, everyone, line up here while the old guys talk.
dude, I've got life experience, man. It is very valuable to know things. Like,
It is.
Right.
Yeah, 40,
What a-
40 is where wisdom starts to creep in, I think. I feel like there's things I've learned past 40 that I don't think I could have before.
yeah, you get kind of cynical, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think everyone should be a little bit a healthy amount of cynical, so that
Yeah.
you can kind of like navigate. What about, okay, so you mentioned Bash, you mentioned Git, which I appreciate. What about basic networking? Should you learn basic networking? What do you think about that?
Maybe. I mean, my understanding is so minimal that it's like, oh, if you do, then I'm in trouble. So I don't know how much I understand about networking.
That's fair.
So it doesn't seem like it's really been super necessary for me. I understand enough, but probably not. But maybe that's.
But is that because you have that kind of core foundation?
It might be.
Okay.
But so much of this is also getting abstracted away. I mean, like I use Vercel, and there's like crazy magic happening, and I don't understand any of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think my app is running on the edge somewhere. I don't know how that happens, what that even really means.
Whatever that is. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
love that Codex has a one button Vercel deploy, and it's in there now too.
crazy. Yeah. So
That's awesome. I didn't know
now
about that.
I don't want to be. I don't want to delegate. My brain. Like I probably should understand more and more of that, but at some point, you're like, I guess I'm gonna rise up the abstraction tree.
And I guess also that's something that you mentioned earlier, which is when you don't know, you can go ask the AI and figure it out, and specific to the problem you're actually trying to solve. So instead of learning a general concept, you're learning a very specific skill, essentially.
And then it's actually more fun because you're like, I don't really need to know this, but actually, this might be kind of delightful to understand.
I want to.
Yeah. It's interesting to
Go
learn. AI.gg
Yeah.
is also talking about Elixir and how it seems great with LLMs. I have some friends that love Elixir. I have friends that love Rails. But I think it's becoming less of. I think it's kind of becoming a nothing burger. Whether it's Vite or Next.js or Elixir or
So you don't
Rails.
think that choosing, steering your AI to a specific language or framework will help it improve it in any way?
I don't know. So I now, my agent writes Next.js, and the reason, so I love Python. Like if I could choose, I would just write Python because it's a beautiful language.
Yeah.
But writing, your front end in some sort of like Django, so you can write backend in Python, it's just bonkers. Like nobody does that. And so I think in the end, it's like go with the current. The current right now is TypeScript. If you're building anything that can be TypeScript, you probably should just let the agent do it. Now, deployment is a big freaking deal, and so that's why I picked Next.js. It's like, okay, Vercel cares a lot about this. They're going to abstract away a lot of the problems, and so I don't even have to think about it. So I'm just going to go with that.
Yeah.
You
They're
know,
a cool company too.
so I mean, I'm friends with DHH. I have massive respect for him, and he still believes in Rails, and Rails is great. But but it's sort of like, and it's very batteries included, which is nice. But is it easy to deploy? Probably, but I'm just gonna go with Vercel. You know.
Yeah.
And then speaking of deployment, so I sent you this meme in the lead up to this where I was like, the meme is everyone's vibe coding their app, but no one actually puts it out into the world.
Right.
Like you just mentioned Vercel. I mean, what if you want to make an app on, let's say, like on the Apple App Store or like Google Play? Like what are your options there?
That's a
Or
thing
like what
that's
do
not
you?
that I'm not seeing yet. Good call.
Yeah, like foundationally, what do you need to know to be able to do that?
I mean that is really, again, you just ask your agent, like, I want to make a game for my iPhone, like, and it's basically you're going to end up writing something completely different, but the agent will know about it. So I don't know if I would just talk to your agent about it, and that'll
That's
all be
fair.
solved. I don't write iOS apps, like I don't think I've ever done that, so I know
Hmm.
almost nothing about it. I'm just pure web app guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you feel inspired by the ability to do that now that it feels trivial?
It would be probably fun, but there's so much in the browser that I'm happy to do. That
Yeah.
and mostly I think about games like a Sim City or something that
Yeah.
it's like
Hmm.
I'll probably just do something in the browser if I do. Um,
That's
but
fair.
I'm lucky to be building a startup right now that I'm very, very passionate about, and it's requiring 110% of my brain and time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm just purely focused on that. So.
That's amazing.
That's fair. And then I guess my last kind of lightning round question that I'd love to talk about what you're
And
building.
I've got one to
Um,
follow you.
okay. Why don't you go first? I'll get mine queued up.
I'll tell you what mine is. If someone is brand new, someone who, when we talk about neuron readers a lot, we always think about people who are smart. They maybe went to college. They're in standard working class, like not working class. They're working in offices or they're working from home through a professional company of some sort. They don't have any software engineering like understanding. Like they may not know what GitHub is. If you were going to tell them 5 things to learn that will make their life easier on their coding journey, if they decide they want to vibe code or whatever, what would they be?
So I think I would start on something like Replit. So go to I think it's replit.com or repl.it, and sign up for an account, because this will allow you to do the whole thing. Like you can have the idea and get the thing out there in the world, and not have to understand deployment, and Git and really anything. So I think that what I would say is the key is to actually not get mired into the details. The key
Mm,
is to think of something fun that you want to build,
Yeah.
and then let that be your guide. And then as you're going down that journey, just ask the agent like what's going on.
Yeah.
And so instead of 5 things, it's really one thing. Like pick something like a Replit or a Lovable or a V0 that allows you to go from here to there, and then build something that you care about, that you find interesting. Um, a fun tool or a little problem that you want to solve in the world, or a gift that you could give somebody, because you can basically gift software now 'cause it's so
yeah.
Yeah.
easy. And then build that, and then talk to the agent as you go, and then you will just learn. You'll learn everything you need to learn. Like I
Yeah.
was not writing production code, so I had got a computer science degree. Obviously built and shipped my first couple companies, but then I started hiring engineers. Eventually had CTOs and VP of Eng and engineering managers and product managers, and I didn't write any code from probably 2000, I would say 8 to 2021.
Wow.
Mm,
And so I really wasn't an engineer anymore. And then I retaught myself full stack development, and now I am a full blown, I would say, mid-level engineer.
that's
And that
awesome.
was all through me just doing and talking to the agents. And everybody
That's
can do
amazing.
this. So
Yeah. I love that so much.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you think, well, I guess the concern, right, is that like if the more that these models are able to do, the less that we'll need software engineers to a certain extent. But I actually think it's not necessarily a software jobs issue. It's probably going to be a software wages issue, where, and I think that's the thing that we're not talking about
That's a
actually.
fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think the need for software engineers is going to actually explode.
I
but-
agree with you.
But
Yeah.
we're not going to be paying people what we pay them now to do it. So I
Yeah, I
exactly
agree.
agree with you. And this is a major problem. You know, I just basically closed a $2 million seed round. Like, I'm not hiring anybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
That's awesome.
and it's sort of like, wow, that's weird. Like, I will hire somebody
Yeah.
at some point, but it's like normally you
And
would
is
quit.
that's never been true for any of the other companies you built, right?
No, I mean, you always needed people.
Teams
Yeah.
of people. Yeah.
And so that's real and that's happening. And then the problem is when I hire, I'm definitely not hiring a junior.
Yeah.
And so things are going to get weird on that. But I think I'm an optimist. So like what I'm hoping happens here is that we have more people that go, well, I guess I'm not going to be a software engineer, at company XYZ. I guess I can build something for myself.
Yes.
And all I have to do is make this amount of dollars to survive. And
Yes.
that amount of dollars is a lot less than the amount of dollars needed for a whole company. So
Yeah.
so maybe actually we have an explosion of, interesting small apps that people end up, they can get, 150 grand, 200 a grand a year, revenue out of that one thing. And that's pretty great.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
feel like
and that's
SaaS
why
is
we
in for
want
a
to.
shaking.
Yeah, yeah. Well, repeat that point again. Sorry, I was talking.
I
over
said
you.
I'm afraid SaaS as a whole is in for a shaking of some sorts that's going to land a lot different than it looks right now.
Yeah. I think so, but I'm paying for Gusto right now to do my payroll, right?
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to do that. I'm
Yeah.
paying,
Yeah.
for QuickBooks Online. I definitely don't want to build that.
Yeah.
I will even probably pay for Slack. I should probably just use Campfire because it's free and it's open source. But there's some of these things you just like. It's worth $20 a month. There's
Yeah.
but the CRM, So for my fundraise, I built my own custom CRM. Because I wanted to manage the fundraise myself, and so I wasn't using Salesforce for that.
And a CRM can be a skill.
Yeah, a skill in a MySQL database, or or a Postgres database, and you're done.
I had my OpenClaw set up, running through Quinn3's text embedding model to a small local vector database, setting up like a little RAG rig that can store all of that kind of stuff, and I can just query and ask for it. And first off, that's crazy, but I just, as soon as I do that, every time I drop something in there and I'm like, go do this for me, I'm like, man, there's gonna be an impact at some point we're gonna run into.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we wanted to do
wild.
this, which is we want to teach people like empower yourself. You can make those products that maybe people that or that who are like you need, that nobody else is willing to put the time into, but
Yep.
it's worth it for the people that are willing to pay, a small amount, and you have enough of them that you can make $150,000 to $200,000 a year, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
I really think it's important that people teach themselves how to do this. Like, not everyone's going to be a software engineer, but it might be helpful for you to have some sort of software in your business that you can build yourself.
Yes. I mean, I'll just go back to what DHH said to me, 20 years ago, which was, if you have a problem that you know about that you can solve with software, and you want to make $5,000 a month, which would be a good wage, and you charge people $20 a month for that product or service, you just need to find 250 people in the whole world that need it.
Wow.
Right? And so
Yeah.
there's a lot of problems that could be solved where there's just 250 people that would pay you $20. And then you can have a pretty great life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You got to market the thing, and that is hard, but life
Yeah.
is hard, right? So
Yeah.
there's no shortcut, but I think it's actually a very exciting time to be alive.
It is.
Well, I do want to give you a little bit of time to talk about what you are building because I think it's really awesome.
Thanks.
Untangled.
And I
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
that we waited this long to get there.
Oh no, it's okay. You know, it's interesting because in this day and age, like actually, I talk about it less and less. So I'm building a product, you know, to help people get divorced. And my sisters went through pretty gnarly divorces, and I was like, it shouldn't be this bad. It shouldn't be this
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
And you know, we're launching here in Connecticut where I live, and making the product really, 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 really good. And then you know, then we'll expand out. But
Yeah.
I don't want to expand until you know the product is an absolute delight to use. So
Yeah.
yeah, so working on it. But it's one of these funny things, like it doesn't really help you anymore to talk to everybody about what you're building,
Yeah.
Why is that?
especially if you're just launching in Connecticut.
Oh, sure.
But
Yeah.
it's something I'm very passionate about, and I'm very, very, very much enjoying building and having direct, you know, connection to real people who need help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And that's one of those, I mean, as you expand it, it won't be niche, but right now it's niche in the sense that it's, you know, only the people in Connecticut can use it, but that's something that the people in Connecticut who need it really need.
Yeah.
You know what? As a survivor of a couple of divorces, I can absolutely tell you anything that makes that project that process a little more tolerable, functional, delicate,
Yeah. Amen.
makes communication a little less
Painful.
emotional.
Yeah.
You know,
Amen. Yeah,
big wins.
good people are gonna get divorced. Like they
Yep.
should get help. Like it should not be something that we look down on or avoid talking about. Like
Yeah.
this is something that people need help with. So thanks for
It
sharing that,
happens.
Corey.
Is
This has
is
been
this
fun, you
something-
guys. I had
Yeah,
no
yeah.
idea.
So much. I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
appreciate it that you took the time to come join us today and
Answer
chat with our
questions.
readers. And do we have any that we've missed before we? I don't
Before we
think
wrap
so.
up, we did have a couple. Do you see anything, Ryan?
No, just you know, I think if you're watching, the best place to grab me is on X. So I'm just twitter.com/Ryan Carson or x.com/Ryan Carson. And I talk a lot about this stuff all day long. I don't charge any money or do a course or anything like that.
That's awesome.
But if you follow me there, I talk about this stuff a lot, and hopefully will help people learn more.
Double checking
Cool.
to make sure I follow you.
I saw two comments in the chat that we could really quickly hit in the lightning round. Debugging with AI. Do you have any? You kind of shared something about that earlier, which is agentation, right? Was that what you
Yeah,
said?
agentation is amazing. So for front end work, can't recommend enough. It's free. It's amazing. So I do that a lot.
Okay.
And then I just chat to the agent a lot. So I do have a skill called loop fix. And basically it says reproduce the problem, and then try to fix it, and then verify your fix, and then loop again. And it
Nice.
sounds
Awesome.
dumb, but like it's this whole feedback loop problem. And so I just type loop fix, and you know, then it starts to do that. And the other thing I'll say is use Agent Browser. Corey, we talked about that, but Agent
Yeah.
Browser is just a very, very good tool. Vercel has made it's sort of like it's like Playwright on steroids. It's just like it's really good.
My lobster keeps fighting me about it. He's
Really?
having issues. We're gonna.
Yeah, it's none of this stuff is easy, I think,
Yeah.
but it's easier than it was.
Yeah.
Ryan, you should write a blog, because I know you write X blogs about this, like about all of the plugins and skills that you use.
should.
And like put them all in one place, and we'll plug it.
Oh, thanks. Good idea. Good content idea. I like it.
The one other thing we had was like spec-driven deployment. Do we need that anymore, or is it just describing it to the agent?
Well, I think spec-driven development.
Development, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah, like yes, but all that really means now is like you make a plan, like
Okay.
so just turn on planning mode. So yeah, so I think, and if you're doing it right, you'll get a good plan, and then a true spec-driven development is about you have a plan with specs that are clearly specified. And so I think there is an element to discipline there where, specify the thing very well, very detailed, have clear acceptance criteria, which means like you say when the user, like when I click the button, I should see a little, shot come out and hit the cat. And when the cat, dies, it blows up. Like just being specific about what happens versus
Yeah.
like, I want, to do cat doom, right?
Yeah.
Which was not
because
specified.
the truth is you don't want it to just, the more it assumes, probably the less it's going to be what you want, I guess.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
like humans. We're kind of going back to like how to be a good manager. It turns
Yeah.
out you have to specify, and then you have to check, and then you have to
Yeah.
give feedback. And so actually, it's really just managing agents now, like you would manage people.
Set them up like an org chart. I can't recommend it enough.
Yep. Yeah.
I have
That's a cool idea.
I have a pyramid.
Smart. Yeah, and that's probably the future of doing everything is managing a team of agents, right?
For sure.
Awesome.
For sure.
Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure everyone really, really appreciated this.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
We'll
guys.
also turn this into a blog after and plug all your great ideas. So.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. It's been a blast.
And if you're watching, don't forget there's a link that Ika here is going to hopefully drop in the chat in just a second that will get you into the giveaway that NVIDIA's brought to us. They gave us a DGX Spark to give away in exchange for attending one of the sessions at GTC week after next. If you go virtual, it's free, easy sign up, and the sessions are pretty sick. So go do that, fill out the form, and maybe win a GTX Spark on us, or on them.
And then give it to me.
And then give it to Ryan.
And then
Yes.
give it to Ryan for all of the free advice he just gave you.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Take care.